So CNN, Frank, they bring on Frank Luntz. It's this guy here who gets his hair cut the same place Ryan Grimm does.
True story.
True story. And he's going to tell people the truth about all these prosecutions. So it's always news to me when the truth gets out on some place like CNN. And the truth gets out, and watch the other idiots sit there. Let's just watch.
All right, Frank, the politics of this. Folks in the Biden campaign.
So they're talking about the politics of prosecuting Donald Trump. That's what they're talking about. And Letitia James is going to start seizing his. There's this. They're saying that the Attorney General might seize Donald Trump's properties. And so so now they're going to talk about the politics of this, right? And so
Frank refer to Donald Trump as broke Don, which is interesting. And then they're
referring to him as broke Don, which is interesting. That's interesting to you? That doesn't reveal an emptiness in the political. Okay, all right.
The possibility that the New York Attorney General Letitia James would have to start or would start seizing assets, maybe even buildings. How do you think that would play?
I want you to remember this moment, and don't forget it. If the New York Attorney General starts to take his homes away, starts to seize his assets, it's all going to be on camera. Pundits are going to sit there and scream about this. This man cannot be elected. You're going to create the greatest victimhood of 2024, and you're going to elect Donald Trump. If they take his stuff, he's going to say that this is proof that the federal government and the establishment and the swamp in Washington and all the politicians across the country and the attorneys generals and all of this, that this is a conspiracy to deny him the presidency. He's going to go up in the polls just like he went up every single time they indicted him. The indictment, let's not talk about whether it's justified or not, but it will prove the things that he's saying on the campaign trail, and he will go up, and it may just elect him president. Do not forget that. And I say this to the Attorney General right now. If you play politics on this, this is what the secretaries of state did in Colorado and what they did in, I believe it was Maine. His numbers went up in both states. I don't understand. I'm almost speechless in how pathetic the opposition to Trump has been and how completely misguided. And this is a perfect example of it.
What do you think about that?
What do you think?
My biggest question, this is the beauty of Frank having his job, which I don't have, is that happened, what you're talking about, Maine, Colorado, when you're talking about what happened in a primary. And while I don't disagree with the optics, I've spoken to people inside Trump world who are saying, instead of bankruptcy, we sit in the peace. Come to Trump Tower, please. We'll have cameras there. We'll have that fight. We'll win that optics battle. I think the bigger question is, in a general election, and given the fact that the Biden campaign has really latched on to this in a way that they haven't in most legal issues.
Broke Don. I've been surprised to hear that.
He was joking about it last night at a fundraiser as well that was off camera, whether or not that rise in the polls can carry into a general election. And you'd know better than, I mean, you're talking to.
So
did this guy get stamped in a plastic mold at Mattel?
No kidding.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at this android.
This is a Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah. Like why is this person being paid for their opinion? Why? He has absolutely nothing to offer, clearly.
So, I mean, so this is Frank Luntz, the first guy with the toupee he's a spinmeister. He was hired to turn phrases faster than a drill bit, but now he actually told the truth, except for, his skull rug. It's almost as if this is intentional. It's undoubtedly the Dems want Trump to win. They need him the way Sean Combs needs a new passport. Without the anvil of Donald Trump to hang over our heads, the Democrats would then have to explain why they do such an accurate impression of Republicans. I mean, yes. they are the Mike McRae of politics.
Yep.
There he is. So there is Frank Luntz, who is no Donald Trump fan. He's there warning these people. He's upset. Mm-hmm. Right. He's upset. You fucking morons. That do you not understand that every time you indict him, his poll numbers go up? And this genius says, well, that's in the primary. That was just that's not going to carry through to the general election. That's what that guy was saying, right?
Right. Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying this is what they're paid for. I mean, I can answer my own question. They're paid to tell their brain dead remaining viewers these fairy tales and stories of good versus evil, and it makes people feel like they're smart and getting this insider take, but it's all just intellectual parlor games and bullshit. That's what they get paid for. They know that's what they're there for. Just say some shit. Well, I'm not sure. Okay, so you're not sure. So why am I even listening to you? Why am I listening to you? Why don't I just listen to the guy at the corner? The guy at the corner has an opinion too. What makes your opinion better than that guy's opinion? Because experience tells us the opinions of Ken dolls like this are usually far worse than the opinions that you're going to find at the corner bodega. Why would you listen to these people? And Frank Luntz is telling them what they don't want to hear. So they're in the spin control.
And then he just goes, well, I don't think it's going to carry into. Let's see if there's anything left.
Yeah, why not? Based on what?
Why wouldn't
would it not carry over to the election?
Why wouldn't that carry to the general? Oh, it's just in the primary. Then people don't care about the general. People care more about the primary than the general. What the fuck? Anyway,
well, this is why libs are always surprised by events, because the sources of information they listen to are not in the news business. They're in the comforting those people business. They're in the comforting libs business. So that's really what he's doing there. He's reassuring the audience. Well, just because he says that doesn't mean it's going to carry over, because if you really start laying the truth on those people, they'll go over to MSNBC. MSNBC is never going to tell them a hard truth.
Let's see if there's anything more to this clip.
People you know better.
How is Donald Trump beating Joe Biden when he's got 85 indictments that still exist? Felonies. How is he beating Joe Biden with the economy getting better and things cleaning up? Okay, you got it's still have inflation, you still have got immigration. Trump is leading, and in the 7 swing states, Trump is up by the margin of error in 5 out of 7. Why is that happening? Because his critics are stupid, and they're running a horrible campaign. And for those people who do not want...
So he's just called all those people on that panel at the CNN in that beautiful studio stupid. He just called it because you people are stupid. That's why Donald Trump is winning in 5 out of 7 swing states. Because you people are stupid. But they look great. That guy, I got to tell you, Mr. Jackson Hinklehair looks great in that suit. His suit looks fantastic. Let's watch. So here.
Donald Trump back. They should be thankful that the people who are orchestrating his loss are as pathetic, and they don't understand the American people.
Quick last word.
And they don't understand the American people. And I just want to show you this. Here's the Democrats. This is Trump. That's the Democrats. So a person can become so determined to destroy another person that they become blind and end up destroying themselves. That's what the Democrats have done since Trump. They've destroyed everything they claim to stand for. They became authoritarian. They became censorious. They became against free speech. They became against bodily autonomy, right to choose. They became against the democratic process. They became against the voters themselves, the American people. They became against everything. They became for political prosecutions. They became for lying to courts. The FBI lied 17 times to the FISA court to get a tap on Donald Trump's campaign, and they got it. And they still couldn't find a crime to indict him on. So they became they became cheerleaders for the CIA. They became cheerleaders for the FBI. They became pro-war over Donald Trump. That's what Russiagate led to. If it wasn't for Russiagate, the left would still be against the Ukraine war. Scott Adams says, more evidence of my theme that Democrats don't know how anything works in the real world. Frank Luntz explains to the stupid people how the real world works. Panel of stupid people act stunned. They all shop at the same suit store, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, even the young ladies, but go ahead.
I mean, I got to say, Frank Luntz is making some good points, but I'm assuming he gets paid well for what he does. I don't know what's going on with that toupee and that suit, but
he's always had a toupee. He's gotten thicker. His toupee has gotten so much thicker, and And his suit he's the only guy whose suit doesn't look good. So I guess if your suit looks shitty, you have a little bit more credibility. Go ahead.
You're probably telling the truth. That's the first sign. They are a dissolute aristocracy. You know, if you look at aristocracies before they're overthrown, they never understand how much people hate them. They just don't get it. Like it's really not as complicated to try to figure out Donald Trump's appeal. You could, I mean, okay, it's a little more complicated than this, but I would say the core of it is that he's not you. And that is a part of it that they just do not have the self-awareness to examine. You are so despised to your class, which at one time had a lot of credibility with the American people, systematically undermined the respect for expertise and the kind of professional class that you represent because you constantly misled them. You told them NAFTA was going to bring more and better jobs to America. You told them that repealing Glass-Steagall
was going to bring rise everybody's prosperity.
Yep, deregulation was going to help. The rising tide was going to lift all boats. Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. Trump would never be the president. It was laughable. They were laughing all the way to his election.
Obamacare is going to lower your health insurance costs.
You can keep your doctor. I'm going to be careful about what I say about some other things because we're on YouTube.
They told you that the vaccine
happened during the coup.
That's right. They told you that everything Fauci said was true, and everything Fauci said was a lie. They said They said it was a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Everybody who's vaccinated ended up getting COVID.
What Matt, I'll tell you, it stops at each vaccinated person. It stops. So at this point, nobody believes anything you say. Nobody trusts anything you say, except for an increasingly really pathetic minority of shit libs who walk around talking about, I don't know, those Trump people, they just hate democracy. I guess they're Trump people, they just don't like democracy. Yeah, you got a few people, and I don't know if you listen in enough on libs to notice, but they're pretty quiet this election cycle. Like, it's really down to the lonely elderly and the most shallow younger people that you can imagine who, if they weren't sharing an anti-Trump meme, would have absolutely nothing to say. Other than that, I don't see a lot of people jumping into that conversation. It's nothing like 2016 where you had all the Hill bots ready to go. It's a very small number of people who still take these people seriously. And whether you love Donald Trump, whether you hate Donald Trump, you know what? Yes, Kevin O'Leary is right. This is common business practice that they prosecuted him for. And any person who's not beset by Trump derangement syndrome, which is most people, can see that. Whether they like Trump or don't like Trump, it's very obvious that what's being done to him is being done for political reasons.
Hey, come see us do a live stand-up show. We're going to be in Stockholm, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, London, Oslo, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Cortland, New York, Oakmont, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Denver, Colorado. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.